Good evening, everyone. Welcome to week 9 of Road to 272.
Oh, yeah.
Excited about this. It's always the whiskey pod.
Of course we're excited. We're ready to go. It's Wednesday.
Heck yeah.
Woo!
You're a little more excited than the rest of us. Good for you.
I just got to hype everyone up. We're all a little lackluster going right now.
Yes. Oh, it'll get going. Don't worry.
Well, I think it's because I got a little action going on in the background here. That's what's got me going.
Yeah, man.
That gets everybody that way. I'll just do a quick update. I'm guessing Joey put the current standings up on there, but someone did. Oh, Brian did. All right, so we
gotta give Trent his props, my friend.
We have Trent leading the way at 73 and 49. Bryant at 68 and 54. Clark 66 and 56. Joey at 63 and 59, and I've got a gentleman's 54 and 67. So Clark brought it up that we are at the halfway point this week of our bets. So still plenty of time to turn around. Plenty.
Yeah.
And I feel so good about this week's slate.
I don't.
So I have more totals this week than I think I have all season combined.
Ryan, this is the bad news, though, is I also feel good about this week. So I don't know if that means I'm feeling better than you about it, but
I might have had a little bit of sarcasm in mind.
Oh, okay. I was being for real.
I actually feel pretty confident on a bunch of these games. So I did other than Moneyline this week on a bunch of them.
Moneyline Joey, no longer Moneyline Joey.
Moneyline Mahosky stepping out.
Well, I'm trying to keep that nickname, so yeah, I did do mostly money lines, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that aren't. So
that's almost not quite 50%.
Yeah,
I think we've got 6 teams on bye week this week. We've got 13 games total. So, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing as last week because my data-driven stuff doesn't really work. So I'm just going to say this is what it is because these guys suck, and I'm going to move on and let you guys handle the stats.
Because they're playing like dog water is why I picked them or picked against them. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, pretty much. But we still need to update. NFL Expert 69 is in the lead for our pick'em on ESPN. So.
Whoever that douche is getting kicked out. So.
This is actually in that pick'em league. This is the 3rd straight week I forgot to set a lineup. So, you know what? if you're leading Homer Bryant, good. You should be. If you're not, you probably quit as well.
So in other words, you're not in it, is what you're saying.
I'm in it. I just forget every time. It's like Sunday at 3. I'm like, fuck, I missed like 8 of the 13 games. So
I went through them today, and there were so many games. I'm like, this sucks. I don't know.
See, I don't know. There's a lot that are. I get into it in my picks a little bit, but there's some that just we all lose because the game's going to suck. But I was able to pick winners at least, so that's different.
You know what it is, and it's not any of this group. I have one fantasy football group, and they fucking changed it from ESPN. Like, I hate the people that are like, I do it on Yahoo. It should all be on ESPN. That is the sports network. That's a sports app. I'm on. It's got an okay interface. It's called Sleeper, but man, it just it takes me out of like fantasy pick'em. But the bowl challenge that we're gonna have later this year. I'm not thinking about it because I'm not looking at the app the whole time.
I hate Yahoo's. I'm in one league that's on ESPN, and that's great. The Yahoo one is such another bad user interface. It's the MW2 of fantasy football.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm not saying the quality is bad. I'm just saying the user interface sucks.
Oh,
God off.
I'm making my picks right now and accidentally put 480 total points for the Monday night game.
You never know.
There's an extra 0 in that.
Well, a quick housekeeping thing before we get to our picks. Monday, we will be making another announcement kind of about the future of our show and stuff like that. So believe we're not dissolving at this point. We're not quitting. So that's huge.
Speak for yourself, Ryan.
I already tried that once, and then I'm still here.
And you're on more than I am now. That's hilarious.
Right.
So there's that. We aren't near as big as Pat McAfee, but we're up to something decent that's going on.
We're gonna be.
Yeah,
A
one
lot
of these
behind the
days.
scenes.
Yeah. And I see that this is still our Happy Halloween Monday Fun cast. So welcome to Halloween, everybody.
Halloween was so fun. We just gonna do it again.
Yeah, I
So
enjoy.
nice, we did it twice.
I enjoyed
Hold on,
listening to it. I was sad I wasn't able to be on it, but I was hanging out with my dad and doing stuff that night with Ezra. So, yeah, it was a good listen to you guys. Though I went on to Spotify. I'm like, holy crap, you guys did two full hours. Good for you.
We yammered a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we did.
There, you happy now, Ryan? It's fixed.
Probably messed up on YouTube. I'm never gonna be happy now. This is the worst show ever.
All right, we're starting over.
Nope, it's on there. It's correct. I'm on YouTube.
Okay,
right
excellent. I was about to fire the guy that was in charge of this. So,
Yeah.
kidding.
You
gonna
can
quit
no
anyway.
longer You can no longer be a part of this $0 an hour. Jesus Christ! Fucking forget it. Forget I said anything.
Things are going
God
smoothly
damn.
here.
Yeah.
And that's Joey, everyone. All right, should we get on to? Oh, first off, I'm going with I don't know about you guys, but it's whiskey night for me. Oak and Eden.
Whiskey Wednesday,
finish-
huh?
Got to finish this one so I can get another bottle.
I like it. Well, I finally come back to my roots like we did at the beginning of this pod, and I finally found a beer that I liked the picture of and why I picked it. So, you guys have seen Old School, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's got him on the side and just I'll do one. So but I got a 4-pack of it. They didn't sell packs of one, so
Nice.
Yeah. So Bryant, you know, before we started doing this live, or even with video at all, you always did that, and then we went to the video, and it wasn't about the can that then we could actually see it.
it was immediate, and you'll never know if I was making up all of those cans or not.
That's true.
That's the crazy part.
That is true.
By the way, this is from Giselig Brewing out of Newton, Iowa. Double hazy IPA. It's hazy, I can tell you.
So is it double? Is it the ABV high too? And he's frozen.
I think
He's so
froze.
it's
It was
so
that
high that he
good.
froze.
Well, I got a banquet beer. We were talking
Nice.
about that on Monday, I think. So, hey,
Hell
Ooh, the
yeah.
banquet.
yeah, I found some and bought something.
I like it. So
I'm kind of
I
jealous.
also reverted to something we talked about prior. Paying homage to my dear good friend Trent Nelson. I have a limeade going tonight with some vodka.
Oh,
And-
nice.
Sprite Zero with one of the little mixer things that you pour in, and then a little vodka. So that's for Trent.
Nice.
Why did you all freeze there and I was the only one that could keep going?
You got kicked
I
out
think it
for a
was quite
second.
the opposite, Brian.
I stared at all. Usually, it has a little like bad reception on the top left on our screens here. It said mine was full green. I was like, how did all three of them disconnect? But all right, I guess I'll admit I was in the wrong there.
So your double hazy, is it double hazy or is the IPA double? Like, is the ABV high?
Double hazy IPA, 8.5
Okay.
ABV.
Nice. I just
You know
wondered if
what
it was
that
like
means, actually.
you're getting
Okay.
drunk tonight.
No, probably not.
No, I just didn't know if it was like double hazy or if the IPA was still double. Never mind. I'm striking out left and right asking questions tonight, so I'm just going to shut up for a
It's a
while.
double hazy. Don't you worry, Mr. Hosky.
All right.
You know what?
That was beer talk. So
I think we should go from beer talk into some bet talks. I want to give some winners to the folks.
Winners only tonight.
all right. Yep.
Speaking
So,
of bets, this motherfucker's in Kansas tonight, so I've got all kinds of bets placed online.
How
I
many
got
won so far?
$10. They're all still on right now. I got $10 of my own money, $25 from Buffalo Wild Wings, and then $200 from BetMGM for free. So, yeah,
Dang.
I could rake in some
Pretty
cash.
well.
All right, IRS is on you like crazy now. Good work.
That's fine.
Like white on rice.
This
It's
guy
not-
goes
none of them-
across the border. This guy goes across the border, and he is just going crazy.
None of them are going to hit, so that's fine.
I hope they all hit for you, Joey.
Me too. It'd be like $1,100.
Yeah.
I hope it does so he has to drive back to Kansas only to cash out.
No, I'll cash out tomorrow before I leave. Or wait, Friday before I leave. Sorry.
All right, well, let's get to the first game here. Philadelphia 4-point favorites at Houston with a total of 45.5. So again, we're going by Caesars Sportsbook lines. I know a couple of mine are a little different, so I'll just make a statement of what I got them for. Most of them are correct, but I do have a few different ones. I took the Eagles at -14. Texans suck. Eagles might be the best team in the league. That's all there is to it.
So I went with the over on this, over 45.5. Like I said, Texans suck. Philadelphia might score 45 on their own. So
We'll have to, because I don't think Houston's going to score anything.
It's going to happen, because the over always hits on these Thursday night games. So
Yeah, always.
yeah,
They say those Thursday overs guaranteed
Right.
just like the sun to rise.
they're always high scoring games on short practice, short rest. It is what it is.
I'm very positive I'm just going to go put an under on now after you said that.
Well, have fun with that loss.
I also really like this game for the Eagles. There's one of them that I'm betting on tomorrow night, and I got it at 13.5, but I'll go with the spread that we have on here. So yeah, I'll go with the Eagles -14. I think they win. Yeah, I think Trent's right. I think they could win by 45 on their own. So yeah, I'll go with that.
I got a few stats for you here. I got Philly covering 14 points. We had a few of them last week where I just didn't like that big spread, but I think Philly's the real deal. I think whatever the opposite of the real deal is, I think that's what the Texans are right now. But right now, the Eagles this year, they've already got 4 wins by at least 8 points here. As 7-point favorites, they are 61% against the spread. And then Lovie Smith coming on off of a short week here. He is 1-6-1 against the spread in a short week. So I think that just lines up for Philly covering, no problem.
And I'm guessing that wasn't against the number 1 team in the NFL.
Yes, exactly. I think that's in his career, so it's not like a one-off thing. That's pretty consistent.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, that was 7+ point favorites in the NFL, not just Eagles.
Yeah.
So since this is a betting pod, I also have a parlay tomorrow night. I got the Eagles spread, Jalen Hurts, or I got the Eagles spread, the over, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, and AJ Brown all to score a touchdown. So plus 500 and some whatever. So yeah, $50 wins me $500.
You get the Missouri, you get the guy out of Missouri, and he just goes crazy.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a freebie.
That helps.
Yep.
I see
man,
Brian
we
is
need to-
very froze.
Brian is.
I am taking a picture. Oh, damn it. I'm so close to taking a picture of that.
Oh, there he is.
Take a picture of that, huh? We'll laugh on it.
Suck it, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember, I guess, since Joey and I are the big Barry fans with, what's his name? I can't remember his name right now.
Bill Hader.
Who's Barry? Bill Hader. There we go. Do you guys remember the Herb Welch skits on Saturday Night Live where he pretends he's dead?
Mm-hmm.
Pretends he's dead at the end and then just starts beating Oh, those are always so funny. That's
I love Bill Hader.
always so great.
Mhm.
That's Bryant tonight. He is going to be Herb Welch.
Just the connection. I got to be careful how I make my face look, because if it freezes, then you're just going to start taking screenshots of all my funny faces.
Thumbnails.
Yep, thumbnails all around.
All right. Well, Trent's got the next game up already. Got the Chargers at Atlanta. Chargers are 3-point favorites with a total of 49.5. Homer Joey, what's going on with your team this week?
Doing dirty bird, baby. The Birds are in first place in the South, barely somehow. I will go Birds, and I believe I have them covering. It'd be smart if I did.
Yep.
I do. Yep. Birds cover the 3 points.
I like it. I got the same thing. No real rhyme or reason. I know they're 0-2 the last couple weeks. I'm just I'm not too impressed with the Chargers here, to be honest. And they're out with Mike Williams is out.
And Justin Herbert just doesn't look normal.
Never
I
mind.
took money line on this one, but I took Atlanta. They're winning.
I like it.
Yep.
I got Atlanta at 3.5. I agree. Whoa, where'd you go? Did we piss him off?
No, I think I heard Turbo in the background.
I gotcha. Yeah, Atlanta 3.5. Yeah, the Chargers haven't looked good. They're very beat up, and Atlanta. I mean, they may not have covered, but they've won they won their last game against Carolina, and now they're underdogs. I mean, the NFC South goes through Atlanta. Prove it to me that it doesn't.
So wait, why? So why would Trent take Atlanta money line and not take the spread on this one?
Because if they win,
more
you get a
money.
lot better odds.
Okay.
Well,
Get
yeah.
some extra scratch for that win.
Okay.
Yeah. Clark took. I think he took the opposite. I think Clark. Yeah.
Chargers money line.
Clark took Atlanta money line also.
Oh god.
Yeah.
All of us
And
picking the same one.
Yeah. Well, and I forgot to say his for the Thursday night game. He's taking the over 45.5 on that game.
Cool.
So far we're all kind of on the same page here.
Yeah, I'm just an idiot and don't know how to bet yet. So it's a good thing I put money in tonight because I thought I was making the right choice, but I'm not. So I'm also going to switch to money line for Atlanta on that one.
Real quick on that Eagles pick, you know the Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. You're talking about him rushing for a touchdown, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That fooled me.
Yeah,
the first
I knew-
time. Want to make sure.
No, I knew that. So
Okay.
All right. What's the next game here? I believe Buffalo at New York Jets. Buffalo 12.5-point favorites. Total is 47. I'm just going to flat out say I number one didn't write down the right thing, but I took the Jets plus 12.5. Actually, I think I got them at plus 13. No, I got them at plus 12.5. Buffalo's amazing, but the Jets actually have a pretty damn good defense. I'm going to go defense on this. I think offensively they can still maybe. I mean, I think they can keep it within 2 scores. Yeah, I'm just going with the Jets plus 12.5.
So I got it at 47.5. I took the over on this. I think a lot of points will be scored. Buffalo can score a bunch of points. Like I said, Jets defense is good, but I mean the Jets, they can also score points. I know they didn't last week, I don't think, but I think this one goes over.
I did get them at 13, I guess. So.
All right. What do you think, Joey?
Oh, sorry. You guys froze a little bit. I unplugged my mic and things were going on. Anyway, I went with Buffalo money line. I think that they are going to run this up fast. I think the Jets have a good defense, but I think Buffalo is just on another level at this point. So I think they run this up fast, maybe get a defensive touchdown, and I don't think any of their starters play in the fourth quarter. So I think the Jets probably make it close, but I don't trust that the spread either way. So I went with Buffalo money line.
Well, I went the opposite trend here. I would say I have the 47 that's just in there. I think it's going to go under, and I have some stats to kind of go with it. Since 2013, when the home team is a 7+ point underdog with a total of over 44 points, which this one's 47, the under is 80, 42, and 2, so it hits about 66% of the time. And then with a total of 48 plus points, it's 48, 18, and 1, and so around 73%. So I'm going to go under, kind of for the same reasons that you guys are talking about. Both defenses are pretty good, and just with it, those divisional games, even if it's a team that, even if this was a Jets team of the past, it seems like a lot of time these divisional games, especially late in their year, a lot more competitive.
And it's a home game for the Jets too. That helps a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm not sure how much of a home field advantage New York actually has, especially the Jets. I don't think the Jets are the more popular team in New York, but
it's hard to have a home field advantage when you share a stadium, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Okay.
I never really thought about that. Like in New York, do more people like the Jets or the Giants, do you think? I think the Jets.
I think the Giants.
You think so?
I do, yeah.
What was the question?
In New York, like the population, do more people like the Jets or do more people like the Giants?
Probably the Giants, kind of like the Yankees, just whoever's won the most recent.
True. Freaking bandwagon.
I just Googled it real quick. Regional. It's regional. Those concentrated on Long Island, where the Jets are the strongest fan base, and those outside of that are Giants. So it also correlates Giants fans to Mets fans and Jets fans to Yankees fans.
Well, you got to balance it out. You have to have one winner and one loser in your life. So, I mean, That makes sense.
Or if you're me, you just like all losers.
Right.
No joy.
I feel that.
Like, the Cubs got me a World Series. That's it.
Hey, that wasn't that long ago either, so don't be, oh, poor me.
2016.
Yeah, that was within the last decade, so shut it. Clark also took the Jets plus 12.5. Next game, Miami 5-point favorites at Chicago. Total is 45.5. Bryant, go ahead, go first.
Pump that over for the love of God. No, I'm just kidding. I do have over 45.5. I think with both offenses, they're kind of coming into their own. Getting later in the season. Now, the other reason I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable with the over is not only Justin Fields looks like he can finally figure out how to run that offense a little bit, but the Bears are selling the farm with getting rid of all of their best defensive players, which I think will just make the Miami offense look better. So I'm going over 45.5.
And Bears got Chase Claypool. Maybe Justin Fields looks even better now.
Maybe.
I think Claypool doesn't make a big impact until next week or maybe the week after, learning the playbook. But I could see him. I mean, Justin Fields actually has someone to throw it up to at least now. So that's good. But you also have to remember Miami got better on defense with Bradley Chubb. So I think, I don't know. I like that over, but I took Miami covering. I think they're going to win by a lot, actually, to be honest with you.
Good.
Give us that line. What do you think they're going to win by?
21. Yep.
They're going to cover 20.5 points.
I bet it's 45-24.
Wow.
I bet the over-under is 69.
You can bet that, Joey. Go put some of your free money on that. That exact score.
I am not
so much.
I am not putting any more money on anything until I win something.
Well, tomorrow morning, you remember that score.
And fingers crossed. I have the Bulls and the Bucks are both covering my points right now, and I'd win $140. So
perfect.
Nice.
Joey, so you think it's going to be over? I can only max out the alternate lines to 60.5 points. So it's over 60.5 points, and Dolphins cover 20.5.
Mm-hmm.
You got plus $2,500 odds. $5 wins you $130.
There we go.
All right.
Jesus That's nice.
Christ.
Yeah, so good pick by Joey there. I don't think they're going to win by that much, but Miami to cover 5. Tyreek's going crazy this year. Like he only has 2 touchdowns, but roughly 1 billion yards. So he scores some touchdowns.
I took the over also, and I got it at over 44. I think there's just going to be a lot of points. I don't think a whole lot of defense. Same thing Bryant said. Chicago's getting rid of all their defensive players, so Miami might score the 45 themselves. And I think Clark also took the over.
Tyreek, he's going for the record. Over under 88.5 points. That's the player prop right now.
Points or yards?
Points,
Yards.
yards,
Oh, he's
over
going over. Yeah,
Over?
88.
Okay.
over
Dude,
88. Yeah,
average is
absolutely.
average this year.
Well, you never know that Bears defense that they keep selling people away from. Maybe they got some pieces behind the solid rocks there. I'm really surprised though with the Bears getting rid of some of those defensive players. I mean they're like cleaning house, but they're only getting picks. Which, no offense, if it was the Chiefs, you'd probably feel pretty good because Brett Veach has a history of drafting good players. But other than David Montgomery, I haven't seen any real great picks that stick out right now.
Well, let's be real. Their defense got better when they got AJ Klein.
Well, I forgot about that addition. So Joey,
Number 47 on that. Ooh,
What's his nickname?
AK-47.
And now he's wearing 47 again. He's back.
Hell yeah.
Well, I just want to see how stupid low the odds are for the alternate line of the Bears covering 20 and a half, plus 20 and a half here. $5 will net you 52 cents. Do you think I should put that bet in?
I would.
May as well.
Free money, man.
Yeah.
That's like those rich people that put down $100,000 on like this minus 900 and they make $500-600 on it because it's such a low fucking bet.
Yeah, those
Hey.
people. That's not even bottle service for those guys.
No,
You got a better chance of that than winning that 1.2 billion tonight.
I'm just
Oh, fuck! I
Hopefully
didn't
you
even
got
buy a
your
ticket.
tickets.
I forgot too,
Well-
Joey.
Guess who didn't forget? This future billionaire. Okay.
Well, good. You can bankroll Pulse of the Heartland then, and
I will if I had that kind of money. Okay. ESPN who?
exactly.
Next game, Minnesota at Washington, 3.5 point favorite. With a total of 43.5. Trent, go ahead.
You know what I'm picking here. Come on. Minnesota
Washington?
covers. Yeah. Minnesota covers. We did something good in the trade deadline, which is not what the Vikings usually do. Went out and got TJ Hawkinson. Herb is hurt for 8 to 10 weeks. So they went out and got themselves a tight end. I mean, what he had 175 yards a few weeks ago. Great tight end out of the University of where, Joey?
Tight end, University of Iowa.
Miami.
So I love that. I love
That's
that
two.
pick.
That's the second.
That was there are rumors going around that the Vikings were going to try to go for Noah Fant, and I was like, I would have been happy with Fant. And then all of a sudden, TJ Hawkinson, it's like, I am extremely happy with TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
That's a much better pick of the two. Just saying.
Mhm.
Yeah. So pretty excited about that. Now, if we can just get OBJ in free agency, Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I can't remember who Kirk had in Washington as a tight end. I know he had some injury issues towards the end there, but I know.
Who?
Oh, I just said Irv Smith.
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
I can picture it, but I can't remember his name.
yeah. I
Big
can't think
white
of his
guy,
name.
right?
Yes.
Logan Thomas.
No,
I'll look
No.
up their roster.
but Kirk has always loved using tight ends, and that went from Washington to coming to Minnesota, having Kyle Rudolph, and since Rudolph is gone, he hasn't really had that outlet.
Jared Cook.
And I don't know if that's it. I guess I
Not
don't
who I'm
know.
thinking of.
Not who I'm thinking of.
Our listener, David a liar.
No, I'm gonna be spending.
Great radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
while we're trying to figure out who the tight end that he paid for. Sorry, what was your point?
But yeah,
Gordon
Kirk's
Reeves.
always. Yes, that's who. Yeah. And so Kirk has always loved having a tight end, and he hasn't had that the last 2 seasons with Rudolph being gone. Now we just became dangerous, really dangerous. I think. Super excited. That being said, I don't think TJ is going to be ready for this week. On 2 days of practice. I think he'll be ready. So I don't feel like taking Minnesota. I'm going to go with the over 43. Minnesota, they had their first week of scoring over 30 points this last week, which is awesome. They're, maybe we can do more. They've scored 28 a couple times and 29. Their defense looked way better, but somehow Arizona still got 24 points. So I'm not exactly sure where those points came from. But their defense did look a lot better this last week, but they are still allowing 20 points plus. So I'm going to take the over 43.
Nice.
I hate to break your guys' hearts, but I'm picking Washington plus 3.5 here. Heineke, he is 8-2 against the spread his last 10 games. The Vikings right now, despite them being 6-1, they are being outgained 383 to 346 yards. With that Commanders defense, I'm not, until I see something with TJ Hawkett and your son, I'm really not too sold on it yet. It bit me in the ass last week, but I think the Commanders have.
So you said this exact same last week, and thankfully you were wrong, and I think you're going to be wrong again this week. But
I think you're going to be wrong. So what do you think about that?
Suck it, Bryant. That's what I think of it.
Damn.
But again, I did take the over
contentious.
because I don't trust the Vikings in this situation. It's one of those deals where it's like, okay, we're 6-1. We're going against Washington, who's not a particularly great team, and the next week we have Buffalo. Let's not overlook this game.
That you think you said it right there. They're thinking ahead to Josh Allen and all the ritzy ditzy primetime game there, and they're overlooking the old Commanders.
Big trap.
It's not a
game
prime
here.
time game. It's a noon game.
Trap game. Joey?
Bees on the trap. Bees on the trap.
So
I'm gonna go Minnesota money line Mahosky here. Yeah, I think they win, but I think it's a close game in Washington. I think Heineke just has, I don't know, some sort of magic. It's kind of like the Ryan Fitzpatrick thing, just not quite the same. So yeah, I'm gonna go. It's a close game, but I'll go Minnesota wins. And also, I really want to hear, do you guys think that Hawk is a ton better than Irv Smith, or do you think he was just a great pickup because Irv Smith is injured?
Way better than Irv Smith.
I agree.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys were
Irv
counting
Smith-
Irv as like the second.
Yeah, and
coming
then
of
it turns
Jesus.
out his hands are made of stone.
Okay.
Like I thought he could be a great receiving tight end. If anything, be a weapon like that. He couldn't even do. He dropped everything that came to him, and secondly, his blocking's dog shit compared to Hawkinson. So
Well, yeah, he's not an Iowa tight end, so that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, I just went to some
Um,
small school named Alabama.
Right.
yeah. Which when has Alabama ever produced good NFL players, right?
Never. They suck.
Never.
Clark took Minnesota to cover the spread.
Okay, I'll be a
Smart
lone
man.
wolf over here.
Smart man, that Clark there, making them good picks.
Yep. I'm gonna if Minnesota covers, I'm totally coming on next Monday and doing it doesn't have any relevance to Minnesota, but I'm just gonna freaking piss off Bryant, come with a Joe Burrow outfit with a cigar and just
Yeah, I can. We'll get to him soon enough. I already got my hate a few lines down. He's riding high off that one picture of him smoking a cigar from fucking 4 years ago.
And going
Cincinnati
to a Super
looks
Bowl?
like crap.
Yeah, and he won a Super Bowl, right?
No, but he
Oh,
still
okay,
went
so
to one.
he lost.
He still went to
Celebrating
one more
silver plates now,
recently than
second
Kansas City. In fact, I'm pretty sure he had to go through Kansas City to get there.
Yeah, but did he win?
At Kansas
So-
City.
That's
so
why
congrats on
Bryant
second
is
place.
salty.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if we're going to award silver medalists, I mean, Ryan Lochte is the best swimmer of all time. Michael Phelps, who gives a shit? Ryan Lochte is who was the best swimmer of all time.
No one's saying who gives a shit about Michael Phelps, but you can appreciate someone else being good.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean,
Ryan
most people
Lochte
did, not
meant
you. You're
nothing
right.
to the
You're
United
right.
States.
Well, okay, hold on. Let's just get when we get to the Bengals game. I'll list off the quarterbacks he's lost to, and we'll see how good he is this year. Okay.
Cincinnati sucks ass, and Joe Burrow is not looking good at all this year. I think we talked. Well, we'll get to it. Whatever. We'll get to it in a little bit. Next game, Green Bay minus 3.5 at Detroit. Total is 49.5. Can someone? Okay. I feel like this one is obvious. I feel like it's too easy. I don't know why, but Detroit hasn't scored anything the last couple of games they've played. Green Bay, second half against Buffalo, they actually look like a decent team. The first half, they looked terrible again, but they actually looked like they started kind of figuring things out the second half. I said I feel like this one's too easy, but I'm going to go with Green Bay minus 3.5.
I went Detroit plus 3.5. They're going to cover. I think this game's going to be close in Detroit.
They don't have their main receiver. We took
They gave
them.
him to the Vikings.
Yeah.
No, I think they'll cover. Green Bay's been awful this year. I mean, I hope Detroit gets back to playing those close games. I don't know they'll win. Wasn't confident enough in them to take that money line, but Green Bay didn't go out and do anything during the trade deadline. I think Aaron Rodgers is just like, I know on McAfee on Tuesday, yesterday. He was saying, like, as he was on there, he's like, well, hopefully by the end of this segment we trade for somebody. Well, then they didn't do anything. So I think
nothing.
I think he's dejected. Like their team is not great. So I like Detroit to cover this.
So I want to correct myself here. I guess they scored 27 against the Dolphins. The week prior, they scored 6 against the Cowboys and 0 against the Patriots.
Detroit should have beat the Dolphins last week. They were up by 10, like in the fourth quarter, I think. Or it was in the second half. They were up by double digits. They should have won that game. Maybe not should have, but they gave up 2 straight touchdowns late to the Dolphins to lose.
It just seems like Aaron
Packers don't have
Rodgers
that
hates.
firepower.
It seems like Aaron Rodgers just hates football right now. It doesn't seem like he's enjoying anything.
It's because his number one receiver is injured. I would be too.
Yeah.
Is
So I'll
Lazard
go
still
next.
going to be out for this week?
I believe so. Could be wrong on that, but
He's showing questionable right now. Same thing as Watson for their receiving core. Holy shit! I'm pretty sure DeAndre Swift for the Lions is going to be out as well. But I got Green Bay covering 3.5 here. Rodgers right now, so far he's 3-0 against teams that are under 500 this year. 0-5 against teams that are above 500. So thankfully the Lions are under there. And then Rodgers as the division favorite is 64. He wins against the spread 64% of the time.
Go ahead, Brian.
The one thing that is going against Rodgers is so far I'm pretty sure they haven't scored 27 points this year in a game, and I'm pretty sure at home the Lions have hit at least 27 points every time. So that would be the one thing going against them if the Lions at home are just a different beast than the Lions on the road.
So I don't know if anyone knows much about dental shit or dental work, but I have a dentist appointment in like a month. But I get these things. My dentist told me that I have a really strong jawline, and then that like my bones in my jaw kind of fragment and like push out my gums. Well, I had one last night, and he's like, if you can, just get your fingernail under it and pry it off. Bled like a stuck hog, and it hurts like a motherfucker. I would rather do that every single day than watch this Green Bay Detroit game. This is going to be fucking terrible. We all lose. This sucks. The only thing worse than watching this is watching the Hawkeye offense. So I'm going under. I think it's a terrible fucking game that no one should tune into.
My favorite part is going to be if Green Bay wins, and hopefully they don't. Like I'm taking them to cover. I think it's too easy of a bet, but I would love nothing more than Detroit to beat Green Bay, because then Green Bay fans will just go absolutely crazy. It'll be hilarious.
my bet slip I have from the casino out here of the Vikings winning the North is looking better and better every week.
Yeah. But if
3.5
Green
game
Bay
lead.
if Green Bay wins this game, I'm looking forward to ESPN, Sports Illustrated, all this. All of a sudden, Green Bay's in the top 10 power rankings. They're back. They figured out a way to beat the high-powered Detroit Lions. They're going to be above the Vikings in the power rankings. I guarantee you, if they beat Green Bay or if they beat Detroit this week. It's amazing how the press still rides their D, where I think I saw one of them still like ranked 10th in the power rankings because they showed promise against Buffalo. I think they're going to turn it around and really take over the North. It's just it makes me want to vomit. It makes me really just want to frickin' shoot my TV.
So I have
for
a
the
question.
Packers,
Go ahead.
so for the Packers to win the North, being down 3.5 games, they would have to like win out in the North, wouldn't they?
Well, they would for sure have to beat the Vikings, so that would tie it up and gain a game, I guess. I mean it's not impossible. It's really
It
not.
isn't, but I mean,
I
they'd have to win out because that's saying like the Vikings are going to lose to the Bears, the Vikings are going to lose to Detroit. I don't see it.
I don't see any way the Vikings are going to beat Buffalo. I don't. I don't know how they're going to do against the Cowboys. They might lose to the Cowboys. The Giants are kind of, maybe, I don't know. The Giants may not be as good as their record. I don't know. But I don't see us losing to Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay again, Indianapolis, the Jets right now. There's a lot of games that I see us winning and a lot less games I see us losing.
Yes, totally agree.
But, man, I hate Green Bay so much. Watching them the other night against
Really?
Buffalo. Oh, my God. I hate them.
I
I
haven't
hate
picked
them.
up
I
on
might
that
hate
at
them
all.
more. I might hate them more than you hate Joe Burrow. I don't know. But like the other night, Jair Alexander running out of the tunnel, going at it against Stephon Diggs, and Stephon Diggs had a great game. And after the game, Alexander, who just lost and looks like a little child, oh yeah, Diggs is a little boy. He didn't do anything. Well, bullshit, he didn't. Like, just shut up, get better. You guys are one of the worst defenses in the NFL this year. Just stop your talking now. Like, finally, the rest of the fandom in the NFL is seeing how big of idiots Green Bay is. And Clark took the under.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that. This is a tough one, other than it seems very obvious the Packers will win, other than if the Lions are a completely different team at home. So
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the Lions score 0 or 35. There's no in between.
Nope.
They don't have
Well,
Hawkinson. They don't have Hawkinson to gain 175 yards.
Yep.
And did they? No, they didn't trade anybody else. Never mind.
that poor Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's going to be asking for all the money in the fucking world since he's their only receiving threat for Detroit.
That being said, I respect the hell out of Detroit fans and the Detroit organization. I have somewhat respect for Chicago, but goddamn, FTP. Next game, Indianapolis, 5.5-point dogs to New England with a total of 39.5. Brian, go ahead.
New England covering 2.5 in the first half. Indianapolis is 0-8 in first half spreads this season. So trend's going to continue. They also have a new quarterback and offensive coordinator they're dealing with versus Bill Belichick. I think that's a pretty easy bet there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I went with New England money line. These teams are both so up and down. I think New England wins because they're at home. I don't know what the hell this game is going to be. It's so hard to read either one. I feel like they're a better team with Bailey Zappi and can at least score more points. Ramondre Stevenson is probably the best player in this game, even with Jonathan Taylor on the other side.
Jonathan Taylor hasn't really done much this year.
Nope.
I bet he was chosen number 1 in almost all fantasy leagues, and he just hasn't done anything.
Right.
That's kind of been the consensus right now of everyone hating him because he's, I mean, you start your draft with him, every other decent running back and wide receiver is gone at that point. You're just picking up the scraps on the best, running back 2 or wide receiver 2 because you took some dud number 1 overall. So
Yeah.
I would be furious if I would have had 1-1 this year.
Trent, what are you doing?
I have New England covering 5.5 in this one.
Yeah.
They've been hit and miss on scoring this year, but Indy with Sam Ellinger starting, they're not back, so they're going to get beat by more than 5.5.
I don't like either of these teams because there's times Indianapolis looks decent and there's times they don't. I mean, most of the time they don't. Then there's times New England looks like they might be back and then they just completely lay an egg. So I don't like either of these teams. I took Clark and I are on the same side. We took the over 39, 39.5. I both have decent offenses. I shouldn't say that. New England has a decent offense at times. I don't think the defenses are totally impressive on either side, and anything under 40 I feel like is really low unless it's an Iowa game. So I'm going to go over 39. No argument from Joey.
God, no. I love any games that are under 40. Fuck yeah, it's Alabama LSU weekend. I hope again it's 9-6, but it won't be.
No.
Don't worry, they made sure to put LSU at number 10, so when Bama beats them, they can boost Alabama's resume a little bit more. They're close to 1 point win versus number 4, 24 Texas. That's what's propping them up above TCU right now.
I do want to bring this up though. Before the season started, I gave a prediction: LSU wouldn't be a playoff team this year, but middle of the season they would eventually be ranked top 10, and it happened.
Did you?
I did.
I don't remember it, but okay.
I actually did. I'll have to try to find the episode and the timestamp and all that stuff. But yeah, that was my prediction. I'm actually pretty impressed that Brian Kelly turned the program around this quickly. I mean, it's it's only 5-2, but it's still 5-2 his first season back after the disaster that was Max Johnson.
I think everyone has really been riding high on that Florida State. I wouldn't say fluke win because that was awful loss by you guys with all the special teams miscues. But I think everyone's been sitting on that the whole time. And they're going, "Oh fuck, they're actually 5-2 now." Yeah. So I mean, we always knew they had talent. It was just how it didn't get put together last year, and now he's actually got him playing well.
The win against Ole Miss, I think, was really big.
Yeah, absolutely. So good that Lane Kiffin looks like he's going to be the next Auburn coach, but we'll get into that more tomorrow. So
next game, Carolina 7-point dogs to Cincinnati. Total is 42.5. I want to give Bryant the floor at the end there so he can go on his spiel. So first off, let's get Clark out of the way here. Clark took Carolina, the 7 points of Carolina. I believe I did the same. No, I took the over 42. Joey, what'd you do?
I was doing Cincinnati money line, but now that I'm thinking about it, Carolina really didn't do much. Cincinnati is just not very good.
Yes, Joey. Yes.
Carolina put up 32, 33 against the Falcons. I'm going to go Carolina spread.
Trent?
What did I think? I have just money line Cincinnati. Carolina's not good, even though they've won their last 2 games with this new quarterback. No
PJ Walker, put some respect.
He didn't win both games. He won one game.
Last week.
Oh, that's right. They lost to the Falcons. They scored a lot of
points. Stooge.
Now, Cincinnati, they're not good. So I was not confident enough in Cincinnati to take them to cover. So I just took money line Cincinnati on this.
All right, Bryant, the floor is yours. Give us your talk.
3 games ago that we were picking, I just got roasted that you're not picking the Messiah, Joe Burrow, and then you just shit all over him. What the hell is this? I have Carolina covering 7 as well. First off, Jamar Chase injury seems to be affecting them a lot more than we expected. He doesn't have that security blanket to actually, throw deep and get that little bit of pressure off him. I'm just going to go through their schedule because right now the Bengals they're 500. They're not terrible. They're not the worst team in the league, but so far they they lost to Mitch Trubisky. They lost to Cooper Rush. Yep, Cooper Rush. They beat Joe Flacco that had to throw over 50 times. They beat Teddy Bridgewater. They lost to Lamar Jackson. They beat Andy Dalton. They did beat the Falcons with their starter Mariota, whichever one. And then they just lost to Jacoby Brissett. Does that sound like the resume of a great quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he went to the Super Bowl last year, so yeah.
Okay, so again, we're celebrating silver medals, and we're not looking at this year by any account. He lost to Cooper Rush, Jacoby Brissett. He had a Zach Wilson-less Jets, a Tua-less Dolphins, and we're giving him credit for that. We're not taking away anything for losing to these backups because he smoked a cigar at LSU.
He can only play
after winning a national championship.
Yeah, that was he's gonna ride that thing to the sunset. He's just gonna have a fucking stogie in his mouth the whole time.
After having arguably the greatest season in NCAA football history.
Cool, and that greatest season in NCAA history is
it's not like he's Trent Dilfer and people are like, oh my gosh, the greatest player ever. He has a resume to back himself up.
How many Super Bowls did Trent Dilfer win?
I will say, yeah, he won one. That's why I'm comparing it. But
okay, so Trent Dilfer is better than Joe Burrow right now.
I'm not going to say that Joe Burrow is the greatest quarterback ever because this year he sucks. He does not look good at all this year. But he still has a resume to back up that he's a pretty damn good player.
He's average at best right now. He had one fluke season where he would just toss it up, and Jamar Chase and McPherson got them to that Super Bowl. McPherson had more points than anyone in those playoffs. That was the kicker that got them to the Super Bowl. So, again, show me. See, Joey's cheering me on. He knows me 100%.
Nope.
Like I said,
I won one bet. Bucks Bulls won me $113.
There we go. So, like I said, and then the backup tour continues. He plays PJ Tucker, and then I guess he's going to play Kenny Pickett. Steelers in prime time, and then he might be playing Malik Willis versus the Titans. His next starting quarterback he might play is the Chiefs in December. So, I mean, they're probably going to be roughly 6-5 maybe. But again, like I said, I until I see some consistency with it. He had one fluke season where a kicker carried him, and now he's 4-4. And you take away his number one receiver. You know what happened to Mahomes when you took away his number one receiver? He's still throwing it to different people. Joe Burrow looks absolutely lost out there. He's Home Alone 2 lost to New York.
So what does that make Kansas City if they lost to Joe Burrow?
Are we still worried about last year?
Well, I mean, if we're going to compare teams, still got to ask if Kansas City lost them in the NFC.
I would say, the Rams were the Super Bowl champion. That's what I remember. OBJ Super Bowl champion.
And they sucked
Stafford
too.
Super Bowl champion.
Is this the new Madden curse, going to the NFL and going to the Super Bowl and then sucking the next year?
Apparently, I would say because Mahomes he went to the Super Bowl and all he did was go back to the Super Bowl in the next year and lose. So
I have to laugh. You mentioned Malik Willis. I didn't know Malik Willis. I didn't know how he did last week on his first start. Not great.
That I don't know. Yeah.
Turn around, hand it to Derrick Henry.
6 of 10, 55 yards and one interception.
Turn around, Derrick Henry, 200 yards.
But yeah, I mean, 6 of 10, he was 60%. It's not like he had to do anything else. I mean, yeah, just give it to Derrick Henry. Tractor Cita, man.
Yeah, and that was against the worst team in the NFL. So what did you pick? I'm guessing you went Carolina.
Me? Yeah, Carolina plus 7. Like Joey.
That's the side I would be on if I took the spread.
We are not the same. We may have bet the same. We are not the same.
We came to the same conclusion either way, my friend.
Bryant, you make me laugh, bud. All right. Vegas, 1.5 point favorites at Jacksonville. Total is 48. Las Vegas just got blanked last week. Like, as in Derek Carr and Devontae Adams scored 0 total points against the Saints, who don't have the greatest defense. I'm going underdog money line with Jacksonville on this one.
I'm going Las Vegas to cover this. We talked about this last week. That Jacksonville, they're not good. Everybody's like, "Oh, Jacksonville, yeah, Jacksonville, they're coming around." No, they're what are they? 2-6, and they beat two terrible teams. They can't even beat the Broncos. Come on. So I'm going Vegas on the road, covering 1.5.
Yep.
So I don't know if anyone knows what it's like to stub your toe like multiple times in a row, but I would rather do that than watch this fucking game. This game sucks balls. We all lose. I went over under. It's going to be under. I'm tired of picking Jacksonville to be good. They're not. Vegas had one good game against fucking Kansas City. Everyone, including myself, went nuts on them, and yeah, they just blew their load. So
Yep.
I would go under 10 points in this game.
Under 10. Joey wants that 3-6 game.
That alternate line.
Hell yeah.
Last 5 weeks, Jacksonville is they're in the bottom 6 for both offense and defense. Like we said, we've been riding high on them because they beat a Herbertless Chargers, and who cares who? I think it was probably the Texans.
Yeah.
Jaguars aren't good. They do have some solid pieces, but Lawrence, he's too inconsistent. Etienne, I have him on my fantasy team, but he went off on his first game. So they might have a solid running attack, but and again, this one was kind of tough because it's like you're also playing the Vegas where the Raiders are going to Raider. You know, if they would play, they would be so much better if they just played every game like that Chiefs game where they get aggressive and they know they can run the ball, pass the ball, you know, and they have an attitude about them that we're going to shove it down your throat, you know. But I have Vegas cover them. I hate the Raiders, but I don't think Jacksonville can keep up.
I think I would agree with Joey. We all lose on this game.
I agree.
Clark also took the Jacksonville money line. Joey, which one's worse, this game or the Detroit Green Bay game?
Oh God, don't make me choose.
This
They're
one.
both terrible. Just blow them both up. I mean, at least the Green Bay one, Detroit is divisional and kind of means something for their playoff implications. This one, I mean, this one sucks. So, yeah, I'll go with the Green Bay Detroit one if you're going to make me answer that.
Okay. All right, next game, Seattle at Arizona. Seattle 2-point dogs. Total is 49.5. Joey, why don't you start this one? I don't think I've called on you much to start this time.
That's fine. So I really like Seattle, but Arizona hasn't looked bad the last few weeks, and DeAndre Hopkins just seems to be getting better and better as the season goes that he's been in. So I think he's a difference maker in this one, and I think it's going to be a close. I'm going to say it's going to be a shootout, but I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go with Arizona, and again, if I were a betting man, I would take Arizona to go under in the first half.
Yeah. I took the under. I got it at 50.5. They played on October 16th, and it was 19-9. Now Hopkins wasn't playing, but is he going to make it that big of a difference to get over 50? I don't know. But yeah, based off the history between these two teams, I'm taking the under.
I also got it at 50.5, but I took the over. Arizona's been looking better. Seattle's been good, scoring some points. I like the over at 50.5. Life's too short to bet the unders.
Here we go. So far right now, Joey, if you bet on the Cardinals, right now they're a half-point favorite in the first half. 24.5 points on the over/under between those two. If you're curious on betting that, I have Seattle covering too. Arizona, Cliff Kingsbury, he just wilts whenever he's playing any relevant team, any good team. This is Arizona's last 5 games. One of their 2 wins is versus Carolina that had Baker Mayfield and Matt Rule still there. So that's completely out the window. They lost to Philadelphia. They lost to the Seattle team 19-9. They beat New Orleans by 8 in that crazy Thursday night football game. And then just lost.
That was because Andy Dalton decided to throw it to their team more often.
Exactly. And then they just lost to Minnesota as well. So I'm all in on Geno Smith and Pete Carroll. I think he knows what they're going to be doing. He's got him playing the way he wants him to. I just don't trust Kyler right now. I don't trust. Actually, more importantly, Kyler, give or take, I could care less. I don't trust Cliff Kingsbury being able to run that team well. I didn't think he was that great when he was at Texas Tech. I don't think he's done that well since he's been at Arizona.
Welcome to my side of things, Bryant.
Mm-hmm. I just don't get how it is a home game for Arizona, but how Seattle is still not favored is beyond me.
Yeah, it might be one of those that it's too obvious again. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like it, but I don't know, man.
Clark took Seattle money line on that one too.
Solid.
Yep. Next game, the Rams at Tampa Bay. Total is 42.5. Rams are 3-point dogs to Tampa Bay. I hate this game. Hate this game.
This is awful.
So let's start with you, Trent.
Yeah. I got it at 2.5. I think that's what I got. Let me go back to it. Yeah, 2.5. I have Tampa Bay covering 2.5. They're bad. Brady's fallen off, but the Rams, they have been terrible as well. They got destroyed by the 49ers last week, even with Jimmy G as their quarterback and not Brock Purdy. They still got killed. Tampa Bay at home, I think they can cover 2.5.
Joey?
I think the difference in this is going to be that offensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have been terrible, including my boy Tristan Wirfs. Even though he's been grading out good, but he just does not look the same as last year. I don't know if it's because there's no help around him, but you give me that offensive line with Aaron Donald coming to town, and I am taking the Rams all day to win this game outright.
Solid. I got the under 42.5. I just think both offenses aren't that great. I think both defenses are pretty good. The under so far this year, 11-2 for these two teams, 6-1 for the Bucs, 5-1 for the Rams. I see it continuing this week.
And Clark and I are on the opposite. We both took the over 42.5. Mainly for me is both teams suck, and 42.5 is not very many points. So I don't think Rams defense is decent. I don't think Tampa's is all that great. So it might be one of those games where the Rams score 30 and Tampa scores 14 and it covers. But
yeah, but even Stafford hasn't looked that. He's still got Cooper Kupp, but they have not looked that great this year. I think they just got Akers back, or I saw him playing a little bit this week, right?
Is he going to allow him to play?
That's the thing. I mean, are they going to play their good players? I don't know, other than Cooper Kupp. So
yeah, I don't know. That's a messed up situation. And stupid me, I drafted Akers on my fantasy. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Dang.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Next game, Tennessee at Kansas City. Kansas City, 12.5-point favorites, total 46.5. Homer Bryant, take it off.
Let me get my stats here. I'm gonna take the Tennessee covering 12.5 points here. One, it's a huge line. We saw exactly what happened when we have a big line. This was last week. I think Kansas City still wins, but I would say we saw the big line last week with the Bills versus Green Bay, where a garbage time touchdown, all of a sudden they cover that. I mean, 12.5 points is huge. I know the Chiefs have a decent enough offense, but for some reason, Vrabel has our number in the regular season. The last two times that they've played in the regular season, Vrabel is 2-0 straight up. They just beat us in the regular season, and both of those were as underdogs as well. So And actually, a crazy stat I saw as well, Vrabel, when he's a 3-point underdog, he's 20-10 just straight up. So he's winning a lot of these games where he's an underdog.
Texans, Colts, Commanders, Colts, Raiders. Those are the wins for the Titans.
Mhm.
Not good wins.
I agree.
They played the Bills and lost 41-7. Malik Willis is starting. He just went 6 for 10 for 55 yards with 1 interception, no touchdowns.
Mhm.
Kansas City is going to kill them. It's going to be a massacre. I'm very shocked that you took Tennessee's side of things because this is going to be the biggest bloodbath of the weekend easily. Kansas City, if they're not the best team, they're the second best team behind Buffalo, and Kansas City is going to kill Tennessee this weekend.
I just got to say, either way, I'm going to win. Either Tennessee keeps it close and I win a bet, or my Chiefs win by 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, I can't lose this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath. Clark also took the Tennessee 12.5. I don't understand it. What's going on with you guys? That
We're pessimists.
I guess you've turned into Vikings fans for Kansas City,
There
apparently.
you go.
No,
Like I
this
said,
is going to
something
be.
about these Titans teams. I don't know if we just come in just lackluster. We're coming off a bye as well, which I would say Andy Reid. I think he's only lost 1 game ever coming off of a bye, but
Yeah,
Vrabel, just something about him beating us, man. I don't know.
Plus, it's Sunday night game. Malik Willis's first primetime game. The whole country to see him just flop. Aren't the Chiefs? The Chiefs are home. Like, this is lining up to be 60-7, and the 7 is going to be a garbage time touchdown.
Well, I'm going to let those two pick before I could ramble on forever about this game, but I don't know.
Easiest pick of the week.
Easiest?
Over 46.5.
Solid.
I got nothing else to add. I'm going with Trent.
Easiest pick of the week.
I think the only thing that's going to affect that over 46 and why I think Tennessee has a snowball's chance in hell in covering that is if they can get Derrick Henry going and if Malik somehow – I mean, again, we don't have a lot of – other than in college, we don't have a lot of tape on him. We had 10 passes that we could – what's he strong at, what's he weak with. I mean, if he can get mobile versus us, who knows? If Chris Jones has another stupid fucking unnecessary roughness, maybe that 15-yard penalty goes against us again. I don't know.
Or if he says some mean language.
Yeah, he goes, you're a doo-doo head. All of a sudden, we're going to get 15 yards and fresh.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. So the center for the Vikings got a unsportsmanlike conduct this last weekend. The reason he got it was because he told the defensive tackle that he's soft.
That's soft.
Yeah, that was the penalty. Was Bradbury told the defensive tackle for Arizona, "You're soft," and apparently that was so egregious that the ref decided, "Oh, you can't be saying that stuff, sir."
I once pancake blocked a defensive tackle when I was playing center and stared him down and said, "I'm going to do this to you all fucking game, you piece of shit." And then I did it to the whole game.
That's hilarious.
There's also
Oh,
go ahead.
This game is classic Vikings Adrian Peterson with Christian Ponder starting. You have Adrian Peterson, Derrick Henry, is no Adrian Peterson. He's phenomenal, but he's no Adrian Peterson. Where Christian Ponder cannot throw a ball. Malik Willis cannot throw a ball. So you stack the box with 8 people and you just challenge Malik to complete a pass. That's what this game is. They can stop Derrick Henry easily. Andy Reid will get that figured out. It'll be 69-7 this weekend.
See, you should have hammered the over too. That's going to get the
Joey,
over.
what do you think of that? Derrick Henry, he's no Adrian Peterson. You agree with that?
He is no Adrian Peterson.
I guess maybe I am the least homer person on this podcast. Like, Julio Jones was great. Matt Ryan won an MVP. I don't think that they're the best all time at anything. Like, I don't have any players that I've ever cheered for that I'm like, they are the best that I've ever seen.
I don't think AP's the best. I don't think the AP's the best that's ever played, but he's definitely top 10 running back all time.
I mean, I would put Derrick Henry in the top 10 right now. That dude is fucking phenomenal. And he's gotten more yards than anyone else, faster than anyone else. So I don't know. It's hard for me to not think that Derrick Henry is at least as good as AP. He may not have the
One of
longevity
you-
overall, career-wise, but I mean, if you take season samples, I would put last year and the year before for Derrick Henry up against anything AP did.
If you want to know why Derrick Henry's better than Adrian Peterson, just pull up his high school senior stats in football. That fucker ran like 60 times for 580 yards and 10 touchdowns. That guy was just a machine. But
Isn't AP the last non-QB MVP?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
We talked about that on a pod last year. We had to look that up.
And that was after he tore his ACL.
Hold on, real quick, Joey. Speaking of shit talking, when you bulldoze that defensive tackle, didn't one of our wide receivers either get tackled or shoved out of bounds or something, and then the cornerback looked down at him and said, "I'm going to rip your head off and shit down your throat"?
Yep, Paul Jacobson went over the middle up against East Marshall and just got annihilated.
Well,
And the dude just looked him down, straight down. Yep, exactly. I'm gonna rip your
I
head
wasn't
off
going
and
to
shit down
list
your
his
throat.
name off with that type of shit talking, but that's probably the greatest shit talking I've ever heard.
I
In his
remember
head, the
Paul
rest of the
came
game-
back. Paul came back to the huddle. He's like, "Guys, I don't know what just happened. That wasn't great." And then told us, and we all started laughing because he got fucking lit up. It was terrible. So
That was one of the actual like close games of your senior year, wasn't it?
probably, I think so.
I'm pretty sure it was because that was I think one of the first times Jack got in a game because the line kept fucking up and shit.
So I once had against who was it? It doesn't matter. But this little tiny dude side blocked me on a fucking kick return. For some reason, I was on a kick return as a senior.
Yeah.
And started talking shit to me. And I stood up and just started laughing and gave him a high five. And he just looked at me like, I fucked his whole world up. But I was like, good job, dude. I was like, you got me. And he's like, oh my God, and ran off. And then he got to come in at defensive tackle, and I fucking pancake blocked him and just laid on top of him. I was like, yeah, how's this feel, bitch?
then he gave him an old oil check at the end. Said, good job, buddy, and gave him a thumbs
No.
up right up the keister.
I am not your cousin. I do not do that shit.
Trent's saying we need to move on.
Oh, come on.
So I took part of my winnings and put it back in for that free Buffalo Wild Wings one, where it's $25 no matter what. $25 for the Lakers to lose by 5. No, Lakers to lose by 3, and the Trailblazers to lose by 5. And right now it's looking good. That wins me another $100. So, and if I don't win it, I get the $25 back. So win-win.
Joey's
Yeah.
moving.
Gambling is fucking awesome.
Joey's
Now-
moving out of Missouri.
Real quick,
Yeah.
is this one of those where you have to place a certain amount of bets before you can withdraw your money?
No, I just had to deposit $10, and I did that already.
Okay.
There you go.
I hope not.
Okay.
It says I have the money in my account from the first one I won. So
There you go.
sorry.
All right, Baltimore at New Orleans. This is the Monday night game, correct? Yep. Baltimore at New Orleans. New Orleans 2.5 point dogs to Baltimore. The total is 48. Who wants to go first on this one?
I'll go first. This was the second easiest bet of the week. Baltimore covers 2.5. New Orleans is trash. Like I said, second easiest. Besides that over on the Kansas City game, then you'd have to think about it.
I can. What'd you have, Ryan?
I took the over 48. I think both will probably put up some points. Saints can score no problem. Baltimore, I don't trust Baltimore to score all that well, but I'm really hoping something changes this week. If it went up to 50, I definitely wouldn't take the over, but at 48, I feel okay doing that. I don't trust either of these teams, so I didn't want to take a spread.
I went with Trent, doing the same thing. I don't think it's as easy as he says, but I don't think New Orleans is very good, even though they're at home. And with the Red Rockets slinging it, I'm still going to take Baltimore to cover. I think they win by more than 3, probably around 10.
I'm really worried about Baltimore. It seems like they've been pissing a lot of games down their leg late in the game. And also, I've started to really like just looking at these first half spreads to see what they are. Baltimore's only a half-point favorite in the first half. I mean, so if they're leading, you get points. So I'm just taking that easy half-point first half covering. One stat for that in particular. Couple things. One, Lamar in first half spreads in his career, he is 36, 19, and 2, so he usually covers pretty early. But between the Ravens defense and first half and second half, they're kind of Jekyll and Hyde. In the first half, they were the 8th ranked defense in the NFL. In the second half, 29th.
Yeah, I like that bet. That's a good bet.
Yes, sir.
Clark took New Orleans plus 2.5.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about Baltimore. I don't trust them. They're not playing very well. I don't think they're playing that well. They just beat the Buccaneers in 27-22. And the Buccaneers aren't that great. They lost to Cleveland. I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't think it's that. I just don't think it's that easy of a bet for spreads. I'm glad Trent is really confident, but
Second easiest of the week.
Second
Say it
easiest.
again. Second easiest. Not quite the easiest.
What is your guys's before? Sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted you. What is your guys's best bet of the week?
Chiefs over on that game.
I think probably if I had to choose the strongest one right now, I think it's going to be that New England minus 2.5 in the first half. Colts are 0-8 in the first half. I mean, again, it's kind of like when we heard Atlanta 6-0 against the spread. When I see something like that, I got to ride it until the wheels fall off.
I think that Philly puts up 700 points against Houston.
Minimum.
Yeah, and we talked about this in our text chain this afternoon, that I don't like this was a tough week. Like I could go 2-11. I just might.
I had 7 totals this week. I've never had that many totals in a week.
Yeah, the lines were so tough. The teams playing each other this week aren't great. I don't know. It was a tough week to bet.
I'm telling you guys, if you're ever stumped on my tricky ones that I'm like 50-50 on, I can't pick either way. My first is to do the over-unders, and then honestly, you can get some decent lines in the first half if you think it's a strong starting team or whatever it is. Like I said, 2.5 New England to lead Indianapolis. That's 3-4-1, and they're starting a second-year player in his second game ever. Baltimore minus or half-point favorite versus an Andy Dalton Saints in prime time. I mean, you can get some decent lines there, dude. Also, there's some decent props that have been coming out lately that I believe it's Tyreek has hit 7 of 8 games over 6.5 receptions. I mean, if you see patterns like that, those are some of the easier props to even win too.
Yeah. My easiest this week is the Chiefs plus minus 12.5. They are going to win. Joey said 700 points is what whoever's going to win. The Chiefs are going to win by 927 points.
Wow.
I'm glad you're confident in the team.
27. Damn. Is that divisible by 3? It sure is.
That's a lot of field goals.
209 of them.
Hold on, real quick. So since I've been making such a big deal about the first half spreads, the Chiefs, that first half spread here, 6.5. Do you think Chiefs are going to be leading by a touchdown going in the first half? I mean,
yes.
I might
be leading by a touchdown going into the second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, because first quarter, the spread is 3.5. And that could very well just be who wins the coin flip, to be honest. So first half, I mean, I'd feel comfortable with the Chiefs covering 6.5 in the first half. And like you said, they can get up by the 20 or whatever points, and then just garbage time when they're kind of playing the prevent defense, not playing to lose, get a couple free scores in there. That's what terrifies me with that 12.5, dude.
Yeah. No,
that's
I mean,
bet the over.
I know the Titans are leading their division, but they have literally played nobody. Houston, Indianapolis. They've played nobody except for the Bills, who won by 627.
You mean you don't respect
There's
that
209. Wait. No.
You don't respect that AFC South that only has 11 wins combined, and the Titans have 5 of them.
Exactly. Yes.
For
Jacksonville's good though. They're good.
Yep. In London.
Listen to any sports, sports center. Jacksonville's back.
They're the only division that has teams that have tied. That's a stat for you.
They're number one. In the
That's a stat.
My favorite, and I think this is how most Vikings fans feel this year, is on NFL.com. They had a article. The Vikings are 6-1, but how good are they? It's really a good question because you win. I mean, you win. A win's a win. 6 wins, 1 loss. That's huge. But every win's been a 1 possession game too. So it's like, we're on the right side of things. Hopefully that continues. But how truly good are they?
I hate that because in the NFL it doesn't matter. Like, just win.
Yeah, wins win.
A win is a good win. Doesn't matter if you're just squeaking by.
You've
The
only
NFL
had
is in college. You're not playing. The SEC isn't playing the SEC bottom feeder, and Alabama's going to win by 57. This isn't college. Like, NFL's a win. A win is a win.
I mean, your only games where that's been more than a 1 possession game. You beat the Packers first week of the year, and then you lost to the Eagles in primetime. So, I mean, it's where you're at right now is you're winning all your 50-50 games compared to last year where you're losing all your 50-50 games in the last 2 minutes of every fucking half.
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate good teams though, like the Eagles that smash the teams that they should be beating. That makes me happy for them. They look good. So, and that's why if I had to do a power rankings, they would be my number 1. 1, they're undefeated, and 2, they're smashing the teams they should be smashing. Where the other teams sometimes smash them, sometimes aren't. So.
Well, and so that was the frustrating thing on Sunday against the Cardinals is we were up and got the ball back, and then we went to what felt like last year's offense of just being super conservative and then punt it away and give Kyler a chance to win it at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It's like just, you have the lead, but it's a 1 possession game thanks to our kicker that missed an extra point. And try to actually win this thing. Don't just try to run down time because a minute 45 is a lot of time for someone like Kyler Murray. Like I can't stand him. I don't think he's as good as his contract says he is, but that guy can gain yards quick.
Mm-hmm.
He relies on those second half heroics a little too much, though. That's the biggest complaint.
My favorite was after Harrison Smith picked them off in the 4th quarter there. It was the 3rd or 4th quarter, doesn't matter. They go run to the end zone. You know how they do where they go to the camera and start doing a bunch of things, which the Vikings have done that a couple times, and they've been pretty funny with what they've done. But Patrick Peterson comes over and just puts the headphones on and then just starts playing on the controller.
That has definitely been the running narrative where everyone's going like, when the Chiefs win, they're bringing up how Call of Duty actually makes them better teammates because they're playing, and throwing the headset on. And then he's like, I don't even actually play video games. All he knows is to put the headset on and do this with your hands,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Any final word before we get going?
Nope. Other than put all your money on all my picks because they're about to go 13-0.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I just told you how confident I was in all mine.
Me too.
I will overtake that lead
gambling.
this week,
Trent.
Joey's
Joey's an addict now.
Joey is moving from Missouri.
I have to. I mean, Kansas is where it's at.
Nah, I just moved away from there. It's not where it's at anymore.
Yeah. I don't think it's on the bill this year. I don't think it's on the vote next week, Trent. I think they took the mobile gaming off the vote.
Really?
I think so.
Well, at least you have gaming, period. Fuck it.
I have to drive 10 minutes. Come on, Joey.
Me too.
I have to go on the other side of Kansas City if I want to do anything, or go to Iowa.
We're in the same boat, Joey. We both have to drive to a different state. Mine's just right over here.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
Mine is just whenever I can travel.
And me driving from Sturgis to Deadwood, do you know what the elevation change is for that? Come on.
Yeah, his ears pop and everything.
I get very uncomfortable for about 2 seconds. All right. Well, everyone tune in to the college football pod tomorrow night, or college football live, whatever it is, because Bryant and them always have a good time and always learn something from them. So tune into that. And like I said, next week we'll have another announcement on Monday that I think will be pretty cool, actually. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, that's all
Teaser.
I have. Joey, what are our socials?
Instagram and Twitter at Heartland Pulse. Follow us on Facebook. Just search Pulse of the Heartland. Do the same thing for YouTube. And yeah, you can find us tomorrow on all the major platforms for the podcast.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.